all we know, we may be able to pass you through their security, because you're not a normal bioterrorist.
Ooh. Okay, let me just pause that for a second. What I'm playing right now, as you can probably guess, is something I've been eagerly anticipating. I say that quite often, but especially for this. Why? Because it's a PS4 next-gen exclusive. Won't find it on the Xbox 360, Xbox One, or of course the PlayStation 3. It is solely for next gen, so obviously, graphically speaking, that's what enticed me the most. Now, I played bits and pieces of the previous iterations of Infamous. Really fantastic. And before we talk about the game, before we talk about everything, I want to touch on the fact that I collected this right here. It's the collector's edition. So, a fun little thing right there for everybody who's a big fan of Infamous to play around with. We're going to put that aside because that in no way affects the actual game. So, let's jump in to the nitty-gritty. Firstly, let me get out of the way. It is an absolutely beautiful game. Really stunning to look at. Every puddle, every street light. The way the lighting is done in this game is absolutely phenomenal. There's the opening scene. You don't have any powers or anything, but you're basically doing that whole parkour, running from one end to another end. And it looks great, looks fantastic. You're looking out to the right-hand side of the game, and you can see the sun, you can see the sea, and it looks stunning, and that really sets the tone for the game. Graphically, of course, that goes without saying, it is on the PlayStation 4 and only the PlayStation 4, so it's not sharing its capabilities with the current gen as well. Now, as for the gameplay, now this is a little bit different from what we've previously seen. It's a little bit more grittier, I think. It's a little bit more realistic in tone as well, compared, of course, to the previous Infamous games. Now, take nothing away, this is still an open world superhero game. You're gonna run around, you're gonna be the good guy, maybe even the bad guy. There's this whole karma thing involved, which you can accumulate points from depending on your decisions when you're playing the game, which I have some slight issues with. Now, let me explain why. The character himself is very likable. Troy Baker, who did the voice acting, also did motion capture, so entire package just adds to the entire aesthetic, pleasing aspect of the actual game itself. Now, his voice acting is also phenomenal. He's great. However, he sounds like a good guy, and the whole gist of the story is you find out that you got these powers, a conduit basically, if you remember Infamous, the previous games. So now, if you are a conduit, you are being hunted and you're not really liked amongst everybody else. However, he does come from a Native American group, and because of his powers, some of his group members are now, well, being threatened. To save them, he has to go somewhere else, and that's where the issue comes into play. The whole purpose of him going out and venturing the world is to save his tribe. However, there are options for you to basically take the evil route in the game, and I don't think that really makes sense. You're saving lives. Yeah, if you want to go out and help them, you have to kill people. Well, you don't. You can just be the good person and do it in the moral way. Also, his brother tags along, who's also a police officer. He has no powers, and he's always saying, oh, you should be doing good, you should be doing good, and I don't see why the whole morality thing will kick into place. Now, on to powers and stuff. All right, straight out the bat, the powers are really cool. You're gonna start off with this power which uses smoke. So you need to go around, well, if you're in Seattle already, drain any elements of smoke in order to charge up your power bar. Then you can actually use those powers. And of course, those are upgradable throughout the course of the entire game, starting off very basic, and it will grow and grow and grow. And, well, you have to really wait a short while, well, not too long, I guess, in order to really jet around Seattle. Up until that point, you're going to be doing that whole parkour thing, but as the game progresses, you'll find yourself doing less and less and less of that. So obviously, the development of that asset of your skill set is not as strong as the previous Infamous ones, because as your powers grow, you won't really need to use it. All in all, the fighting, the combat, the action in it is great. It really is a lot of fun. fully harnessing everything you would expect out of the PlayStation 4 as well, in terms of how it looks graphically. It's just stunning.
Guess they called in some backup.
If you enjoy the previous Infamous games, you are definitely going to enjoy this. Like I said, the tone, etc. is a little bit different. It's a little bit more realistic, less comic booky than we've previously seen. But I was surprised to find that I rather enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to play, and of course, being open world, there's all sorts of things you can investigate, so you can take it at your own time, just full-on story mode, and you should breeze through the game quite fast. But if you're going to explore the actual city of Seattle, which is now gone into lockdown, well, you should have obviously a lot more fun there in terms of hours at least. However, do check it out. Infamous Second Son is one of the standout games on the PlayStation 4. Still in its embryonic stage, of course. Not that many games compared to the PS3 at this point in time. But definitely something that bodes well for the future. And if you get the collector's edition, have fun wearing your beanie. It's really quite cool looking, and you'll feel just like Delsin, except without the powers. Oh, sorry, just playing around on my phone. Sadly, this is the end of this week's episode, but we want to give a big shout out to the chaps here at RA Fine Arts Gallery in Publica, and also San Francisco Coffee House over in Menara Sunway for hosting us today to really complete today's episode. But next week, plenty more exciting stuff is coming your way. In the meantime, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc. That's how you find us. We would love to hear from you. My name is Adam Carruthers. Till next time.